Happy New Year, everyone. If you are joining me for this Start Your Year with a positive motivation to maybe decide to leave your 9-to-5 job and create a family-friendly, flexible career. I have sent out this invitation to students, teachers, and anyone in our community who might like to learn more about how to make this possibly sometimes seem quite scary job into something that's really an exciting opportunity, full of really creative potential. And I want to do that by sharing my experiences with you. So if you're watching this live now, hi, I can see I've got one viewer, or if you're watching it recorded, or maybe if you're not even watching it on Facebook, you might be watching it as part of one of our courses. My objective is to help you feel more confident and more fearless about making this big decision to start your own family-friendly career. Now, first of all, I just want to tell you a little bit about myself. So some of you may know me already if you're already my students, but for those of you who don't, my name is Gayle Berry. I'm the founder of Blossom and Berry, and I'm an international expert in baby massage and baby yoga. I'm also the mum of 3 now teenage children. I can't believe that I'm saying that, but it's true. And I also run a charity called Love Support Unite that provides sustainable education and farming in Malawi. So that's quite a lot of things that I do, and I am passionate about all 3 of them in equal measure. So what I wanted to try and do is share with you a little bit of my experience and talk a little bit about my journey, because where I am now is very different from where I started 15 years ago. So if we just rewind back, and I can just share a little bit about my story, and then I'm going to move on to talk about some basic advice about starting up your own business, and then I'm also going to go through some resources that will be useful for you, and also just give you some general pointers to think about before the next session that I'm going to do, which is going to delve a little bit deeper into maybe some of the things that are holding you back from starting your own business. So just very quickly, my journey started when I went to, when I left school, I had 3 A-levels. I went off to the University of Warwick to study law and sociology, and that was an interesting experience. I absolutely loved university life, made lots of incredible friends for life, but didn't have an automatic connection to law, but found myself in a very fortunate position where I was offered a job in a top city law firm with all of my law school fees and paying school payments paid for, with the offer of this amazing job at the end of it. So I felt very lucky, and my family was very proud of me. So I took that opportunity to study hard. I took my law solicitor exams at Nottingham Trent University, and then I started off working for a London firm called Nabarro's in the City of London. Now, when I started that job, I didn't really have an instant connection to law. I didn't really like working in a really big law firm where you didn't really get to know people too well. Everyone was very, very busy, and I kind of felt a little bit like I was a small cog in a really big machine. I rarely got to see clients, and there was a lot of pressure and long working hours. So I was feeling a little bit disillusioned, and then the most amazing thing happened. I went away on a short sabbatical with my husband when I qualified as solicitor. I went to South America, and on my return I had a little extra passenger with me as I found out that I was pregnant with my daughter Emily. Now, I'll share a little secret with you that at this point I had never held a baby before in my life. I didn't have a very strong maternal instinct at all, and children actually used to kind of a little bit scare me. I never really seemed to be able to get on the same level as them. So I was both very excited about being pregnant, but also a little bit, worried about whether what this new journey was going to be. But what I did know is that it was the start of something completely new, and from the moment I became pregnant, I felt like I was creating a new life, not only for me, but for my child. Even before I'd had my daughter Emily, I really felt that connection with her. So once I had my daughter, I completely and utterly fell in love. So quite sort of unexpectedly, when I was given Emily, I did have that instant kind of feeling where I had a very, very strong connection and bond towards her, despite not having any experience of babies at all. And I feel very lucky and grateful for that, because I know that's not the experience of everybody. And I decided at that moment that I really wanted to dedicate my life to being her guide, her teacher, her friend, and have as many life-enriching experiences as I possibly could with her. I really felt like when I became a mother, I was really coming home and finding my true identity. And it just by being a mother, it was just so many things that felt really right to me. So obviously when it came to the time to go back to work, I was really, really drawn between this very well-paid job in the city that had security, had a really good salary attached to it. All my friends and family were really impressed with, what I'd managed to achieve. With the other desire, really, that I wanted to spend my time with my daughter, because she was the biggest love of my life, really. She was the most precious thing. I had this connection with her, and I had all sorts of other feelings around, childcare. How was I going to manage that? My husband also had a really stressful job in the city as well, and I thought, how are we going to cope with having this beautiful baby and really nurturing and loving her and giving her the best life experience when both of us have got these really high pressured city jobs? So I decided, much to the sort of, surprise of my friends and family, that I was going to leave my job as a lawyer and not only sort of just, become a mum, which, a lot of people do that, but I decided to also make the step into becoming an infant massage instructor. So becoming a mum, I think people might have expected me to do that, because a lot of women decide to be at home with their children, but becoming an infant massage instructor came as a shock to a lot of people, largely because a lot of my friends and family had no idea, hi Carly, what infant massage was. And to be honest, before I had children, I didn't know what infant massage was either, and I discovered it by actually going along to a class with my daughter and finding out the incredible benefits for her, because she had colic, because she was very unsettled, because she didn't have much, she didn't sleep very well. She was quite a fretful and anxious baby. Going to infant massage taught me so many amazing techniques to help calm and soothe her, which in turn helped me to feel more confident, more empowered, and more able to respond to her needs. And I mean, to be honest, I could do another whole Facebook Live on what sort of my discovery of infant massage had on my life. So I don't want to get sidetracked. I want to keep to what I'm talking about today. But in essence, the decision to become a baby massage instructor from a city lawyer came as a bit of a surprise to friends and family. But the reason why I decided to do it was because I had this true, authentic connection to the power of touch, and the importance of responsive care and teaching love to children. And because of that passion, I decided that I wanted to give up my job and also make sure that I could be available to my daughter and my other two sons, which I had later on, so that I could actually teach that personally to them as well. So it was a personal and a professional decision in one to make that decision to leave. So as a result, I started off my own small business teaching infant massage in the town where I live. And to start off with, I just did a few classes a week. I did some one-to-ones. I built my business really, really slowly and organically around Emily, because I wanted her to, I didn't leave my city solicitor job to not be available to her and not spend that time with her. So I would make sure that the majority of time I was able to do all the things I wanted to do as a mum, and to do lots of groups together, meet lots of friends, build up like my mummy friends, and she's all of her little baby and toddler friends. And also I had the opportunity to go off a few times a week and have my own separate identity as an infant massage instructor and as the owner of a small business. And that balance between the two was absolutely amazing and just really ticked all of my boxes. I had both my perfect kind of balance between the two. And then obviously as I had my 2 sons, I had 3 children in 3.5 years. That also meant I could still do classes, but obviously because I was looking after them as well, I did slightly more classes when I had more help and with more childcare from my family or from my friends, and then slightly less. So it gave me ultimate flexibility to work more or work less depending on what I needed to do around my children. And as a result, hi Emma, I have been able to, share the last 15 years with my children in the most wonderful way. I don't think I could put a price on all of the experiences I've had. And obviously being a mummy is not always this most straightforward or simplest thing to do, but those experiences I've had, I simply could not have done them with my regular 9-to-5 job. So that is my story, and just to say that with Blossom and Berry, obviously I've built it up very organically over the last 15 years. I've done that deliberately because, as I said, I wanted to enjoy the process of being a mum, having a family, and growing a business. And I think that's one of the things that sometimes people feel, kind of overwhelms people, is this idea that to be successful, you have to have really quick, rapid growth, and you need to have lots and lots of classes, and when you've got those things, it means you're an amazing success. Well, that isn't true, because true success always comes from happiness. So in my case, my happiness came from sharing those experiences with my children, and now 15 years later, through Blossom and Berry, having an amazing organisation filled with incredible people and making a real change around the world. So it's been absolutely fantastic. So I wanted to share with you a few things that might be useful if you're making that decision to leave your 9-to-5 and start a family flexible career. So I know that it's not an easy decision to make, but one of the biggest things that can stop us from making big life changes is fear. Now, fear is something that can really hold you back, and it's often based on kind of exaggerated ideas of what would be the worst thing that could possibly happen if I do this, and we tend to focus on what the worst case scenario is rather than thinking about, well, what would happen if I took a tiny step in that direction, evaluated how that felt, and then took another step afterwards. So with things, with any fears that you have, it's really important to think about trying to rationalise them and then take small steps to overcome them. So what I wanted to do today is to share with you a few things. I've made a few notes that might help you in overcoming that fear or motivating you to make that really big decision to train to be an infant massage instructor or a teacher, or to set up your own family-friendly business in whatever area, because a lot of these principles I'm talking about aren't just related to infant massage and yoga. They're really, really useful for you if you're starting a business in any in any industry sector. So I'm going to share with you a resource called a SWOT chart, which is a really useful way to rationally look at the pros and cons of making any particular decision. So SWOT stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats. So it's a great way to think about making the decision to leave your job, and what strengths have you got already that will make that a success. What might be the weaknesses that you have, what the opportunities are for you to expand that business and what you're going to get as a result, and what the possible threats are. And when you put that down in front of you and actually really look at it and analyse it, it makes those fears suddenly, from seeing really big and scary, into something that you can actually rationalise and work through. So some of the things that you need to consider are not only money, which a lot of people make decisions around money. Now, in my book, money doesn't always equal success. You can have lots of money and not a lot of time, or you can have more time and not a lot of money, or a bit of both is a good one. So you need to think about your relationship with money, how important money is to you, how much money you really need, and whether money is more important than time. Other things to consider are your lifestyle. So how is what you're currently doing affecting your lifestyle? Does it give you the ability to spend time with your partner, your close family, your friends, all of those things as well. Also think about your health. Is your job affecting your health? Are you feeling quite stressed out, quite anxious? Do you have a job where you sit behind a desk all day, so you don't have an opportunity to be very active, and maybe that's affecting your weight? Or, you know, also things like, you know, personal satisfaction. That's also really, really important as money and lifestyle and all of the other things as well. So by doing this exercise and being really honest with yourself, it's a great way to bring that really big fear into something that you can understand and then work from. And then after doing that exercise, what's great to do is to collate any information and create yourself a little action plan of little steps that you can start to take to move you in the direction that you want to go in. Okay, so I'm going to be sharing the SWOT chart that I've created for you on the event page, and if you join our mailing list, we're going to send out all these resources to you at the end of the week as well. So a few other points just to cover before I leave you, because I know today is precious family time. I just wanted to give you some general points that I have discovered through my experience, and also I wanted to show you a few other resources that might be useful for you. So when I was preparing for this today, I was looking at my bookcase, which is full of self-development books, motivational books, infant massage and yoga books, lots and lots of great inspirational resources. I love looking at my bookcase because it gets me really excited. And I found this book, which I know it might be back to front for you, but it's Wayne Dyer, Your Erogenous Zones. And this was one of the books that I read about 6 years ago, which was so important for me to turn fears and negative thoughts into positive action and beliefs. So I would really recommend this book as one to get you started, because don't forget, you don't have to make the decision to leave your 9 to 5 tomorrow. Okay, you can just start the process. You can start preparing yourself mentally. There's things that you can do to get you into the right mindset to make these decisions. So you don't have to just jack it will in tomorrow, but there's definitely things that you can start to do from now that will help you to move you more in the direction that you want to go on. So that's a really good one. Also, I use this every day, which is a daily greatness journal. You can get lots of different journals. So journaling is a great way to think about all of the wonderful things that you have in your life, to cultivate a sense of gratitude, and also plan for how to achieve your goals. Now, one big kind of bit of advice that I would give you is that things don't happen by accident, okay? So sometimes in life things might start to appear in front of you, but I don't believe that they are actually happening by accident. I believe that once you start to put intentions out into the world of things that you want, it starts to come back to you. Now, the only way to do that is to be really clear with the intention of what you want. So having a journal like this, which records your intentions for the future and your gratitude for what you have, is a really powerful combination to make things happen. So that's another one of my top tips for you to get you started. Also, I have my little affirmation cards here, which I use to remind me what it is that I'm doing and keep me on track in terms of my intention. And also, which I will cover a little bit later on, here it comes, a big one, I have this in my office, which is my vision board, which I created. I had lots of fun making this. So basically, I've put together all the things in my life that motivate me, and all of the things in my life that I would love to have and enjoy and experience and share. And I have that in front of me, and it's so weird that a lot of the things that are on here, I did this last year, have come true without me really being aware of it. So just by looking at this and in my decisions, every decision I make is aligned with where I'm going. It really makes a massive difference. So I'll show you that on another day as well, but that's just to give you a little idea there too. So I think I've done all of the physical things I was going to show you. So I just wanted to finish off today's session. As I said, I'm going to build on all of this for the rest of the week with a few key points, and this has come from again my experience and a little bit of reading and refreshing over resources that I've been looking at the last few years. The first thing I want to say is that I am absolutely no different to you. Okay, so I am a mum of 3 children. I have had the challenges of having 3 children under 3.5, having a very, very busy life, all of those things. So I understand what it's like to be a mum, okay? So I'm not giving you any advice that I haven't followed myself and that I don't think will work, because I truly believe in being 100% authentic in what I do. So everything I'm telling you is things that I have done myself. Now, I would like to also say that I just wrote down a few of the things that I've managed to achieve having since I've had my children, which is much more than I ever could have achieved as a lawyer. Well, it's just when I was writing it down, I couldn't even believe it. So this is why having the journal and writing these gratitude posts about what you've got and what you've achieved is really important to make you be able to move on to the next thing. So some of the things that I've done in the last few years are I've written 2 books on infant massage and yoga, and I featured in a couple of other books. I've launched obviously Blossom and Berry. We now have over 300 teachers across the world in over 7 countries. I've travelled to countries like Dubai, Bali, Mexico, Italy, Malaysia, Africa. I have opened a sister branch with my joint trainer and friend Sandy in Mexico. I'm a brand ambassador for Huggies. I've done a Huffington Post Live. I've won Business Parent of the Year. I've also got my amazing global collective of teachers across the world. So I've got this incredible gang within the Nurture Collective who I absolutely love hearing from and supporting. I've taught infant massage at Harrods flagship baby department opening session. I've set up my charitable project, the Little Blossoms project in Malawi, which is helping over 450 mums and babies around the world. I also run Love Support Unite charity as the UK director, and last year I raised over £70,000 on my own for the charity. Okay, now the reason why I've told you that is not because I am trying to say look how amazing I am, but those things are actually quite amazing. Now I've actually written them down, is to say that you can do all of these things too, right? The only reason why I've done these things is because I've set a really strong intention to do them. Okay, and this is where my magic formula that I've been using kind of comes in, because it is really, really simple. Okay, and a lot of the time we think things are complicated, but it isn't. So the magic formula that I've used to be able to achieve these things, which you can use exactly the same, is basically 3 things that you need to do. Is that easy? So the first one is you have to believe in what it is you want to do. So you have to passionately connect with what you want to achieve. So, you have to set a clear intention that this is what you're going to do next year. And this is why doing this on the 1st of January is a great exercise, because you've got the whole year ahead. So you can just set one intention that is the thing that you're going to focus your energy upon. Okay, so intention and belief is absolutely crucial. And that's where, having the vision board and the affirmation cards and the journaling really, really starts to come in. Okay, so that's number 1. From number two is really easy. You've got to take action. Okay, so once you know what it is you want to do, right, it's not going to just come and land on your doorstep without you doing anything. And this is where the hard work bit comes in, because, none of those things that I've just explained to you come from me, sitting around and not putting my energy behind them. Okay, when you put energy behind anything, it starts to move. Yeah, you start to create connection, you start to create activity. There's energy that bounces off each other. Okay, so once you start to put your energy behind your intention and your belief, you will start to see action. Now, it's really important that you start to notice the small little things that start it off, which might appear as coincidences, or suddenly you get a funny email from someone, or you bump into someone, or maybe someone comes into your mind that you haven't seen for a few years. It's really important to help you get to that next stage of your business. But believe me, if you start to put your belief and intention out there, you'll start to see little signs of this action occurring. And then as a result of that, eventually you will get your desired outcome, okay? It will happen. All of those things that I just listed that I have done, all I did was just set an intention, that's what I wanted to do, gave it 100% of my energy and 100% of my, my love, and then I got an outcome at the end of it. Now, sometimes the outcome isn't necessarily exactly what you think it's going to be, but that's fine. You shouldn't have an attachment to a specific outcome. You just need to know that you're moving in the right direction, and that can be enough to just start that process rolling. Now, I'll give you a great example of this, okay? Because if you're a little bit skeptical, say your intention is that you want to lose weight, okay? So a lot of people want to lose weight, and they believe that they really, truly want to lose weight. But then when it comes to their actions, they don't actually mirror that intention. So actually, to lose weight is really easy. You have to do two things. One is eat less, okay, which we can all do, and move more. That's it. There is no magic to it. So when it comes to your actions, if your intention is to lose weight, do your actions align with that intention? Are you eating less or moving more? If you're not, guess what? The outcome is not going to happen, because even though you had the intention, the action didn't align with the intention, so the outcome wasn't the one that you wanted. So you have to make sure that what you're intending is working through the process, through your actions, and then you'll get your desired outcome. I'll give you another really good example. Is I've just recently become a vegan, and that is because I believe that I want to take care of animals, and I feel I want to be more consciously aware of animal welfare. Okay, so that's my belief. So in order to do that, I have to stop eating certain kinds of foods. Now, some of the foods are things like chocolates, biscuits, cakes, anything with egg, butter, and milk in them. Okay, now if you'd said to me 2 months ago, you've got to go on a diet which involves you eating no chocolate, no cakes, no eggs, no biscuits, no milk, nothing, I wouldn't have been able to have done it. I probably would have given up. But because my belief is I want to do it, because I strongly believe in the welfare of animals, now the outcome is that I've just literally stopped doing it overnight, which is amazing. I'm really amazed that I've actually been able to do it, because my intention and my belief in that is so strong. So can you see how it's really simple to make things happen, but you've got to be 100% committed to that intention and then take action on it. Okay, so we'll come back to this a little bit later in the week, but that's in essence the first thing. So the other things, in short, are, first of all, tune in to what you really want. So get yourself a piece of paper and start writing down what you want for yourself, not what you necessarily want for your family or what you think you should have or what will make other people happy. Really tune in and put down what would make you happy in your life, okay? Because you only get one life. And you've got to be happy, because there's no point in being here if you're not. So you need to be brutally honest and write down what it is that you want. Because when you're happy, I promise you, your positivity will shine through. You'll be like a light, and you'll start to attract all these other amazing aligned friends, opportunities, everything, when you are aligned with your own happiness and positivity. Okay, so tune in and use something like journaling to do that. Number 2 is be careful what you're listening to, okay? So if you have people around you who are telling you you can't do things, or my worst one, shouldn't do things, please stop that voice around you. Start to fill your head and your life with positive people who are aligned with where you're going and who are going to give you motivation and energy. Negative people will just drain all of your energy and stop you from achieving. So you need to not cut those people completely out of your life, but maybe don't listen as much to them and balance it out with a more motivating, more inspiring, positive set of messages, all right? And also on that point, the worst person who tells us that we can't do things is us, okay? So we are our own worst critics. We judge ourselves all of the time. In everything you do, there's a little voice in your head that isn't you saying, oh, you're doing that again. Oh, you shouldn't have done this. Like everyone's got one, I'm sure. My friend refers to it as their shitty committee. So it's the head, that whole people in your head. It's your teacher at school, it's your mum, it's your best friend, it's your ex-boyfriend. It's all of those people combined into one in your head, making you feel bad, okay? Get rid of them. You've got to get rid of them. When you hear them, you want to imagine that you're turning the volume down on that. And guess what? You can put on a podcast, you can pick up a book, you can pick up an aspirational affirmation card, you can call one of your really cool friends, or you can speak to me. Get yourself positively motivated and turn the noise down on that inner critic, okay? I've talked about the formula already, so that's intention, action and outcome, really important. Also taking small steps. So again, as I said at the beginning, you don't have to jack your job in overnight. You don't have to become a full infant massage expert overnight either. You can, very good Leanne, I totally phone a friend, I saw that comment there. Yeah, you don't have to do that overnight. You can just start by getting a journal. You can just start by reading a book. You can just start by joining, maybe an online group for women starting their business, of which I can share quite a few with you. Okay, you can just do it gradually. Think of it almost as in a hobby or an interest. So rather than going down the pub and spending 20 quid on a night out, maybe invest 20 quid in a short training course for the day, or a massage or a meditation course or something which will actually help to give you clarity on making these decisions. That's really important. Also find your tribe, which we've talked about a little bit already, so make sure you've got really inspiring and motivating people in your life. Look for evidence as well. Like a lot of people don't start their own business because they think they're going to fail. Okay, so look for evidence around you. Okay, I've got a really successful business as an infant massage instructor. I've got 300 teachers across the world that are also teaching infant massage and yoga. Okay, so there is some social proof and evidence that if you decide to become an infant massage instructor, there is potential, okay? There is the opportunity to grow a business. It's not like, someone tried to teach infant massage once. It was a total disaster. No one was interested. There were no clients. And so, it just didn't work. That really is not the case. In fact, I found out that 353,000 babies are born globally every single day. And I think that accounted for 128 million mums and babies every single year. So that's an ever increasing growing market of people that are interested in learning about nurturing touch, love, massage, yoga. Basically people that want to connect and show their children that they're loved, people who want to relax, people who are really child focused. I believe that there's more and more people in the world like that. So our services are completely relevant. So look for the social proof. Don't just do it just because it sounds like a good idea. The client base is there. There's lots of reasons why having relaxed, positive, confident children is good, not only for children but for families and the community and the world as a whole. And there's lots of people already out there doing it. So there's 3 really good reasons to actually take the decision to train as an infant massage instructor. And then the last one was just to kind of follow your passion as well. So obviously I've talked a lot about my experiences. I am so passionate about teaching love to children through the actions of parents, because parents are children's first teachers. And when babies are born, their brains are only 20% developed at birth. So genetically, your brain has been, 20% of your brain is genetically determined when you're born. important. There's not much you can do about that. But the other 80% is completely expanded and developed through early experiences. So the first year of life should be all about teaching babies that the world is a loving, empathetic, kind, compassionate place where when you have a need and you communicate that through, you know, subtle signs or crying, your needs are met, and that there's always here someone to support and to help you, okay? And surely growing a whole future generation of people who are aligned and feel like that is going to have a huge impact on families, communities and the world. We've got to start investing into into early infant mental health, and also supporting mothers, because mothers are children's first teachers, and motherhood largely is undervalued and not celebrated, and I think that that's again something which needs to change. And so our classes also help to support and celebrate parenting, value motherhood, and they also then enable mothers to feel more empowered and more confident to respond to their babies with love, rather than being scared of spoiling babies or doing something that they've been told to do from lots of different conflicting sources. Anyway, I won't go into that, but in essence, hopefully you can feel my passion on this subject, and that's again why that passion that I have, when I put it into my belief and my intention, it's going to create action, okay? Because I'm not going to stop until I've done as much as I possibly can to share that message across the world. So the outcome is 300 teachers across the world that are teaching, charitable projects that are now starting up across the world and having a really big impact, okay? Now you can do all of that and more. It might not be the things that I'm passionate about, but there's nothing different about me than you, not a single thing. We're both born on this planet, have, you know, maybe different times, but, you know, but both have the same opportunities to connect, to create, and to share our talents, skills and abilities. So I really want to encourage you to never be scared to do that, because you've only got this one opportunity to really share your passion, and the world would be a poorer place without you sharing that. So just feel 100% confident that you can do this, okay? All right, so I'm going to stop there. Sorry, I've got a little bit animated, and I only meant to do quite a short Facebook Live, and this is a little bit longer. So with the following ones I'm going to do this week, I promise I'll keep on track, and I'm going to have specific points that I'm going to talk you through. And then as we go through the week, as we get more into like practically how it is that you set up your business, we're going to be looking at loads of resources that I've used personally to help you kickstart your business. All of them are pretty much free, which is what we want. Thank you, Carly. Thank you, Leanne. And we can just continue on there. Now, in the meantime, if you have any questions or comments, you can email me or get in touch with me, and I will try and help you. But I hope this one's been useful to get you started. Don't be afraid, okay? You've got this, and just start to practice in a really small way. Belief and intention, action, outcome. Just see if you can measure it, and when you start to see that magic happening, okay, you'll start to believe, and that's when you're going to manifest all of the amazing things that you want and be the success that you want to have. You're going to be really, really happy, okay? All right, so I will see you all tomorrow. Have a really good one. Okay, bye.